Hey, what's going on, guys? Let me know if the audio is okay. As always, this is your fault if it's bad. Just remember that. Bad audio, your fault. Good audio, my fault. All right, let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. We'll get going in a few seconds. All right. Oh, man. What's going on? What's going on? All right. We'll get going in a couple minutes. A second. Give me a couple seconds, guys. Audio sounds good, says Brad. I'm going to trust Brad OG in the chat over here. All right, you guys ready? Let's do this. If you guys are ready, just type a bunch of readies in the chat and let me know where you're from. Ready and where you're from if you're ready to get going. Voice is a little wrecked today, but we're going to get through this. All right. Oh, I am missing pieces of things. Pieces of things. Pieces of things. Oh, no. Of course, this happens right when I'm going live. Why wouldn't it? Okay. All right. And let me do this. And let me do, boom. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the event space. You know who I am. I am this guy. And this is Quinn. And it's Monday and it's noon. So, and I'm around, which means we're going live, right? If you guys are coming to New York at all, there are events stacked up. You can check out this QR code right here. But Wednesday, Michelle Harris will be here, 5 p.m., 48 poses, 8 minutes. There's also going to be Vanessa Joy, Thursday, how to make money with your camera. So get some of that money back you've been spending on all that gear, right? Today, actually, if you guys want, you can go here, Adorama.com/events right there. And why is my phone going off like crazy? Whenever my phone goes off like crazy while I'm live, I think something is going wrong here. Like I said, Michelle Harris, Sigma Ambassador. She's going to be joining me for Coffee with Creators, which is on the main channel. But on this channel, 5 p.m. on Wednesday, you've got 48 couple portraits in 8 minutes. So weddings, engagements, even events, things like that. This is a really good event for you guys. And Vanessa Joy is going to be here. Methods to monetize your photography. How to make actual money at this game. Make an actual living at it. Crazy idea, right? And I'm actually really excited about this. Ryan Airy is going to be joining me for Coffee with Creators next week. This guy is the man behind Screen Crush, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels. If you're watching any nerd stuff, Marvel, DC, HBO stuff, I'm talking Last of Us, whatever, Disney Plus, any of it, and you're not watching his channel, you're crazy, because he's going to walk you through all the Easter eggs, the little things, and approach it from a filmmaking perspective as well, which I really appreciate. And then the Chris Buck will be here for Coffee with Creators the week after that. Incredible portrait photographer. If you don't know him, now you do. Chris Buck. And Ab Cisse will be making his triumphant return to the event space Wednesday, June 11th. So we got some time for that one. But you guys know Ab Cisse, the legendary, the great Ab Cisse. He's going to walk you through, do lighting patterns matter? Well, we're going to find out. And if you haven't checked out his series on Adorama TV, it's Level Up with Ab Cisse, where you want, I mean, literally leveling up. I mean, bigger sets, more in-depth, things like that. But make sure you check out Adorama.com/events for that whole thing. All right, I just want to do a quick spiel on that. Hope you guys are all well. What's going on, Brad, Vagar, Dale, Steven? What's up, man? Joris, Susan, how are we? How are we? We doing all right? We doing all right? I'm going to pin this to the top just so you guys have it always and forever. But you guys can check out all the stuff. No, it's not going to let me pin it. You got to love YouTube, man. $8 zillion company that just bug after bug after bug. Okay. So, yeah, it's a pretty good lineup, right? We're cranking away hard for you guys to get some. I mean, this event space only exists if you guys interact with it, both in person and virtually, which is what you're doing right now. This I don't really set up so that I get a crowd in here, because we're just hanging out, we're just chilling. So don't forget, Mondays noon when I'm around, I'm here. However, I believe this Monday is Memorial Day, so I'm not going to be here for this. So get your questions now. Looks like everybody's pretty good to go here. Netherlands, Prague. Oh, I've got a friend in Prague right now. Okay. Kathy, what's going on, Kathy? Hope you're well. So I did put up a question sticker on my Instagram so you guys could fill me up with some things to talk about. However, I was thinking maybe we'd actually get into the Brooklyn Reflector for a quick bit. I'll walk you through how to actually use it, what the sheets of diffusion paper in there are for, what the silver versus the white is about. We can do that if you guys want to get into that. Let me know. Heidi says she's got a question at the top of the chat. So Heidi's asking, good morning. Good morning. Is it morning? Well, are you West Coast? Is that what's happening right now? I'm shooting poi dances tonight on the beach. That's very cool. So some fire spinning stuff going on there. I'm bringing 2 to 3 V1 Pros to play around with. Would love to hear your suggestions. Only have open space, no structures. So question 1, is there going to be ambient light? Are you shooting at night or is it like sundown? Because if it's sundown, woo, you've got a lot of choices, but you have to work fast, right? Is it going to be something where they're spinning fire or doing something that has some sort of motion to it? If so, do yourself a favor and just give yourself some shutter drag in there. Not too much. Don't go crazy if you're not familiar with how to drag a shutter, but what you're going to want to do is just give it enough so that there's a little bit of motion so that people feel how dynamic it is. My recommendation is throw your strobe into rear sync and slow it down just enough so there's just a little bit of blur so that people can feel it, but it's sharp enough not to be jarring and it doesn't overtake the image with a gimmick, but it's rather a technique that works for what you're shooting and it gives your viewer a sense that they're there, right? Let them hear that music. Let them feel how dynamic these dancers are, how sweaty they're getting. Like, get into that, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I would go with it. It's very hard to answer these questions when I can't see the environment. I don't know how many people you're shooting. I don't know what time of day, what your ambient light's gonna be looking like. But what I would say is do yourself a favor and do not eliminate the environment if you can, because part of that feel is the beach, is being there. I would even be psyched if you were to throw one of your strobes and rake it across the light. Rake it across the water so that if it is all blacked out, if it is nighttime, you can get some texture behind them. Now imagine this, you're doing rear sync flash, just a little bit to get a little bit of blur in there. You have the maybe a shallow look to it, and then behind them is this glistening water, and you've got a light raking across it, giving you all those little glimmered bulbs, kind of like bokeh balls almost, but not really. You could even gel that light, right? So let's say they're wearing a bunch of stuff that's warm tone, put a teal gel across that water. Or give me some moonlight, give me like a cold gel, like a CTB, half CTB, something cold, and just rake it across that water and then make that fire pop if they're doing fire. I don't know why I'm picturing fire. Am I just making that up out of nothing, out of nowhere? I apologize. But that's my suggestion to you is a little bit of movement. Don't try to eliminate the environment all the way. And don't forget, you can't light air, right? So think of things you can rake the light across, the sand, the water, all that stuff, right? And just imagine you're shooting something like 2.8 or wider. You don't want to completely be shallow. You want to get a good amount of them sharp. So don't go too shallow. But imagine that water is glistening and you've got that shallow depth of field behind them, kind of like this, right? We did this yesterday. Do I not have any bokeh? So something like this, right? Imagine this, but back there you're shooting farther away and all that background is just water that's getting raked. Oh, whoops. That's getting raked across. All that out of focus. Imagine this is the water glistening back there. Imagine that, right? What did I do? What was this? I don't even remember. Was that the Beauty Dish one? Imagine, right? And then you have a little bit of movement. Wow, just their hands, their faces are strong. You've seen all the emotion in the face. You've got the I'm guessing they're gonna be sweating if they're moving fast on the beach, right? That's something like this. So imagine all those out of focus balls or the glistening water with whatever color you're choosing to put across that water. Could be very, very cool. Think of it like a moonlight streak. Now, if you want to take it a little bit further, you can modify that light on the water. Think snoots, think grids. Actually, not snoots. Think grids, think barn doorish kind of stuff, where you're not just like blasting the light everywhere, but it's only going where you want it to go. That could be an option, you know. Or if you want to make it look like sundown, you can even gel that light so that it's like orange, like CTO. Something like that. So that was just off the top of my head. Again, I don't know what the dancers look like. I don't know what the environment looks like. I don't know what the ambient light situation is going to be. But in my head, off the top of my head, that's kind of where I would start thinking about it. I hope that's helpful. Is that good, Heidi? Yeah, I hear you. Okay, cool. Yes, thank you. I hear you. Cool. All right. So, and if you have a chance, you know, get out there early and just see what looks like what and what you can do. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Heidi. Well, I'll tell you this, if you love this channel, all I need you to do is throw comments, likes, and share this channel around. I really need to grow this channel. This is not a game anymore. This channel needs to grow, and the only way we can do that is sharing, engaging. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't care what you guys buy. I don't care what, you know, all that kind of stuff. No, what I need is this audience to grow. So the more this audience grows, the more I can take it to brands that bring in their ambassadors and do classes. Like the bigger the platform, the more I can get for you guys. You know what I mean? But yeah, Heidi, if you do shoot any of this and you post it on Instagram, tag Adorama. Let them see what you're doing. They'll flip it probably. That could totally work out, you know. There was a question. Anything you guys shoot, tag Adorama. Just tag Adorama. No, I appreciate you, Heidi. Believe me, if I had chat rooms full of Heidis in every stream we do here, I'd be psyched. And I love you guys. You know, Brad, you're always in everything. Kathy, you're always in everything. Steve, Photosapien, you're in everything. I appreciate all you guys. Believe me, it doesn't go unnoticed, and this stuff can't exist unless you're part of it, right? I can't talk to nothing, and I can't shoot for nothing. So 50-50 here, okay, guys? Someone did ask, would you worry about motivating the light or not? So this is where you have to make a decision. Is this shot gonna look like it's lit? Are we not hiding that? It's kind of like how I'm wearing a lav mic right now and you're seeing that mic. I'm not hiding that I'm mic'd. Are you gonna hide that it's lit? Are you trying to go for a natural look? If that's the case, do you try to use something that's a light source in the space that's believable, like fire, right? So is there like a bonfire that's off frame that we don't see? If that's the case, what would you do to light your subject? Throw some warming gels on it, right? Give it that tungsteny, fiery feel, but you have to be at peace with the fact that you're not gonna get neutral light out of that unless you start playing more games with more strobes in there. Again, this could go on. You go as deep as you want with this. This is, to be honest with you, Heidi, it's not an easy situation to shoot in if you want to elevate it. If you just want to point a lens and point a light, you can knock yourself out and get whatever shot you get. But if you're trying to elevate it, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where that's going. But anything you shoot, be sure to tag Adorama, hashtag create no matter what, the whole thing. All right, guys? Rich Formica, I'm noticing more slightly shaky photos even at high shutter speed since I switched to a 61 megapixel A7R5. Is shutter speed more important with higher resolution sensors? Yes. So when we were starting to go beyond 30 megapixels is when people started realizing camera shake's gonna show up more and more. All that said, you do have stabilization going on, right? So that's the trade-off that's going on. Not the trade-off, that's the new animal in the equation here. So when, you know, cameras rating like 45 megapixels, you know, D850 and stuff like that, there was no stabilization in those cameras. We're talking about DSLRs, right? The 5DSR, the D850, you know, there was a lot. In fact, when the Fujifilm GFX was announced, there was a 100 megapixel medium format. The first question we asked was, is this thing going to be stabilized? And they were like, yes. And I was like, we were like, yes, because 100 megapixels handheld without stabilization will show more shake on it. It's just, this is a bad way to put it, but you can almost think of it as it's extra detail like that. How can I put this? the shake of your camera is a detail. So if you have more resolution, you're going to see that detail. Does that make sense? It's a bad way to put it, but if you think of it that way, that's kind of how you mitigate that. If you are getting shaky photos at high shutter speeds, what shutter speeds are we talking about here? Are you shooting moving action? Because it might not be it might not be you. It might be your subject moving, right? There's a difference between blur from your subject and shake from your camera. There's also other factors, like think, for example, you might be shooting with glass that might have rendered fine on 30 megapixels, but isn't resolving on 61 megapixels. So are you using third-party glass? Are you using lenses that might still look all right on a different camera, but you put it onto a 61 megapixel, it's not holding the ground, right? Everything is a trade-off. More resolution, there are so many trade-offs. And you have to decide if this is even a trade-off that's worth it to you. So for example, higher resolution means you're going to get slower frames per second generally. Means you're going to have more processing. Means if you wanted to have higher resolution and faster frames, you're going to be paying some high-end money like $6,000 for a flagship. That's why R3, Z9, A1s are the price they are, because you're shooting high res and high frame rate, right? Now, if you said to me, hey, I'm using 60 megapixels, but I'm also closing down to f11. Well, guess what? The higher resolution you shoot at, the more you lose detail as you close down because of diffraction. The megapixels that exist on that sensor, there's only so many that can exist on a sensor till they have to start getting smaller. 30 megapixels, 12 megapixels, right? The A7S III is a 12 megapixel camera, but it's got larger pixels because it has the room on that sensor for it, thus cleaner at high ISOs, doesn't fall victim to diffraction so easily. But then you go to 60 megapixels, you start closing down past f8, past f11, you start losing detail at some point because diffraction sets in. So every time you raise a spec, something else takes a hit. I don't care what anybody says, whatever. This isn't magic. This is science, this is physics, this is light, right? So surprisingly noticeable on some portraits I've shot as high as 1250 shutter speed. It's not all the time, but I'm starting to realize the trade-off. So my question is your stabilization on? What type of stabilization? Is it normal? Is it sport? What is it? Is this lens a lens that's been completely sharp for you on another camera, but doesn't feel sharp on this? And is it sharpness or is it blur? Two different things, right? Surprisingly noticeable on some portraits I've shot as high as 1250 shutter speed. Look, 1250 doesn't mean a guaranteed frozen subject either. So let's say you're shooting something like water droplets. You're going to want to be shooting like 3,000th of a second, somewhere in there, to freeze the movement of a water droplet, believe it or not, or splashes or whatever. And this is, so what I would do is, first, I would check if shooting in a studio with strobe in a controlled environment where the only light you're catching is the strobe. That takes away any sort of movement out of the equation, right? So if I shoot with a black frame like we always do, and I introduce a strobe, is it as sharp? You know? IBIS is always on, same lens, different body. I feel like more blur, not sharpness. Okay. So yeah, it could absolutely be, but I would try strobe for a second just to take out the motion aspect of it and see if that, like in a controlled environment, does that give you, or you might even know, you might even shoot that way in between shooting like this, you know? So I would start taking away variables, and one of them would be, because the other thing that could happen is lenses get knocked out of alignment. What does that mean? Well, if I have a lens and all the elements are inside this lens and they're just like designed to be a certain pitch and like perfectly on, if something's off in pitch or something like that, it's out of alignment. If it took a hit, especially zoom lenses, you know? So I think one of the things that's tough about this stream, I'll be very honest with you guys, is I'm answering to just text on a screen instead of seeing an image in my hands, right? So it's really hard for me to like answer some of these things without all the data to answer the question, right? But these are things I would check, right? I can definitely get sharp photos. Wait, what? Hold on a second. I can definitely get sharp photos, but just starting to realize the number of photos with shake are much more often. Oh, then honestly, yeah, you're gonna have to keep in mind higher res means higher risk of camera shake showing up. But in reality, if you're shooting just portraits and you're not moving and they're not moving, like it shouldn't be too tough. If you're not someone that's got stable, that's so stable, you know, it might be a challenge, but for the most part, a 12/50th of a second of a non-moving subject and you shooting. However, are you using like what lens is it? Can I ask you what lens it is? Because don't forget, the length of the lens magnifies camera shake as well. So if you're shooting something like a 400 millimeter, that's going to magnify shake a lot more than a 50 millimeter. And that's what we usually tell you guys. The shutter speed should kind of match the focal length. So let's say I'm shooting at a 50 millimeter and it's on a full frame camera. A 50th of a second or faster is your general starting place, right? Think of it that way. So if I'm shooting a 300 millimeter or 400 millimeter, I'm going to want to start at 1/400th, stuff like that. I hope this is helpful. It's so tough. You know, I always think I can help you guys out, but it's so tough when I'm dealing. There's like there's nothing. I have no data to sink my brain into. You know. Hope that helps, man. I'm sorry. Vega says, I think my 24-105 f4 might have glass out of alignment, need to deliver. Yeah, you can, if you are a pro service member of any brand, Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, whatever, you can probably get it checked every now and then. So go check out your pro services. Don't sleep on that for sure. For action, you need 1/3000 second flash. If you're talking about flash duration, why is this? Has this been on the stream the whole time? Flash duration, that's not a rule of thumb. 3,000th of a second flash duration is not a rule of thumb for freezing action. There's different speeds in which something, if I'm going like this versus this, big difference in 3,000th of a second versus 12/50th of a second. In fact, if your speed light is at full, if you have a speed light at full power, it might only get to like 800th of a second at full power, you know, but it can freeze some action. So that's not a rule of thumb, Warrior of the Light. Warrior of the Light, man, the drama in these names, the drama. For wildlife, go ×3 for the focal length in my experience. It depends on what you're doing, right? If we're talking about just purely camera shake, not movement of subject, if you're talking about just the camera in your hands not showing up with shake, rule of thumb or starting out would be in full frame, and this does matter, with full frame, whatever focal length should be your shutter speed. If you are shooting smaller sensors, that is another magnification. So APS-C, micro four thirds, you're going to want to double that, you know? Yeah, it's okay, Brad. I can't, I'm not dealing with links in here because it gets ridiculous. Cool, you can do all the tests you want, and I know John Gress is a good guy. The reality is that not all motion is the same motion, not all freezing is the same freeze. Oh, I wanted to go back to this. But for wildlife, because you might be getting a fast-moving jaguar, cheetah, whatever animal, going faster to freeze the action of the subject is different than going faster with your shutter speed to mitigate camera shake. So starting at the focal length of the lens is your shutter speed for full frame, then going faster than that depending on your subject. Okay? Man, we're coming out of the gate hot on this one, huh? We're already like half an hour into this. You guys are coming at me hard, man. Yes. Yeah, that's what I figured, Jacob. Yeah. I am not the guy to ask for this, Mark. All good. I'm really not. I go through PPA personally, so I am not the guy. Hopefully, there might be some resources on their channel, on our PPA. They might have some resources on their channel to talk about gear insurance and stuff like that. So I was thinking, I could go to the question sticker and see if there's anything I want to bring up there. So do you guys want to go to the question sticker I posted? There wasn't much in there, or we could shoot something with this Brooklyn Reflector and set it up with the diffusion, because I don't think I've ever shown any of you guys that whole part of it. So let me know, question sticker or Brooklyn Reflector. Vote in the chat and we'll go one way or the other. Okay, guys? This, by the way, this coffee is like water. This is like, is there coffee in here somewhere? What happened? What is this? The ice melting that much? I don't know. There was a coffee guy on the corner of our studio. He's gone now, but he used to have coffee ice cubes in the iced coffee. And as the day went, you'd be getting this crazy caffeine like you wouldn't believe. It was, I got to a point where I just couldn't even drink it. I was like, this is killing me. My chest is killing me. My chest is killing me. Reflector. No, I appreciate you, Rich. Believe me. I appreciate all you guys. Believe me. Question sticker and bang on. Let me just really quickly check the question sticker. What is going on with my stories? They're all gone. Oh, there we go. There's not much. Kathy, you're about the only one in those question stickers. Do you want me to go through your questions, Kathy? Let me know. Otherwise, everyone seems to want to get into the Brooklyn Reflector. Belize. Wow. Okay. All right. So with the Reflector, the problem. So first of all, let's talk about the size of this, right? So with pizza boxes, if you get a full-size pizza, they aren't put in clayboard. They're put in corrugated cardboard, which is just matte paper. Does not bounce the same. Okay? I like clayboard. This is, let me see if I got one. This is traditional clayboard. It has like a pearlescence to it, but it's never true white. I don't know if you guys can even see that it's not the truest of white. Do you see that? As much as I love the bounce off of a real pizza box, and I love it, I had the chance to get more of a white, and that's what I went for here. I mean, you can see how much this is bouncing into me, right? It doesn't have the same broken, diffused look as an actual pizza box. And I had to make peace with that, because what I really wanted was the silver on the inside. And the silver on the inside couldn't happen with actual clayboard. I was breaking my heart, right? Inside, when you guys get a Brooklyn Reflector, on the inside, you get a few sheets of diffusion. They're not the same. There's one that's exponentially thicker, and there's some other ones that are just tissue paper, basically. The one that's thicker is easily my favorite. We'll get into what that's about. Everybody with me so far? So you got the silver bounce, which mimics the sun. I mean, look at this. Wah. Take it away. Wah. Take it away. Wah. I mean, this is crazy, right? But I wanted to make sure that the Reflector wasn't just a piece of garbage that you're playing games with a print on it. I want it to be something. Now, the one thing I'm seeing people do with the Reflector that's driving me crazy, I love you all, even Vanessa Joy wasn't doing it right. So when you have the Reflector and you're trying to bounce, you don't have to do this. This isn't how we use this. If you take the Reflector in your hand like this and you push your thumb down, look at that. It is now a rigid, not floppy surface that I can put in there on the fly. So this is how you use it. This is how you properly use the Brooklyn Reflector. Okay? If you want the sun side, I keep saying, I keep calling it the sun side because it hits like a sun bounce. And you can easily, I mean, you know, you can look at this. This is crazy. This is crazy. You can easily use it as a sun bounce if you want. But the reality is that the cool thing about it is that it's thin. You can just throw it in your bag, and then when you need it to be rigid, look how far away from the model I can be and still get a bounce. I'm talking longer lenses. You still get the bounce in there. Everybody's happy, right? So that's the reality. You want to be able to just get your thumb in there. And don't go crazy, just a little bit of pressure. Make it, you know, like this, right? Ooh. Ooh. I gotta do a thumbnail. Watch. Gotta make a thumbnail, right? So now the question is, what's with the diffusion? What's with the diffusion? Well, if you actually build the box, and it doesn't build like a normal pizza box. Normal pizza boxes fold better. This doesn't fold so great. So what you have to do is you kind of have to baby the points where you fold it to make it. You don't just pop it together. As a guy that used to deliver pizza when I was a kid, you used to be able to pop these things together like nothing. Here, you got to kind of baby it a little bit, okay? So now we got the bottom. We're gonna make the top. And we now have our pizza box, right? We got to get these tabs to close. So we baby them a little bit, right? We baby them a little bit. And then when you close it, you got yourself a pizza box, right? Nice, right? Oh, this popped out a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not expecting anybody to build these. I'm expecting you guys to use them as flat boards, basically. But when we do this, you've made a box, right? Well, what kind of box do we use when we're taking shots? Soft boxes, right? So underneath any pizza at a quality spot, you're gonna have a piece of tissue paper, basically. I am not building this right, and I'm live. You're gonna have a piece of tissue paper under the pizza, right? Well, if you take the box and put it open like this, and you put the diffusion, you put the diffusion in here like this, and you put a speed light in there, you've got a strip light. So let's make a strip light. Now I can't mount this to I can't mount this on a stand, obviously, right? So you gotta kind of finagle it a little bit. I'm going to make a tabletop and just put the light on there. Let me get this speed out of here. Everybody with me so far? We good? I think what I'm gonna do is drop this gray down, give me the best possible situation. Let me know if you guys are okay in the chat. Oh, there's diffusion paper literally everywhere. And the other paper is like different densities. You can double it up, whatever you want to do, right? This is your world. I'm not going to tell you what to do. So now, I don't know, we'll do it like this. We'll do it like this, right? I'll put the diffusion paper in there. We'll put a speed light in there. And then you're basically got yourself a strip light. So let's turn this head on. Do my thing. Yeah, when you guys go quiet in there, I'm like, did I lose the stream? And when I say lose the stream, I don't mean technically, I mean, are you guys bored? Are you guys gone? What happened? So where'd I put my piece of paper? Is it over here? Let me put the speed light, and I face it into the box so it's hitting the silver and then coming back out, right? So normally I'd put the dome on it, but I didn't bring a dome because I'm not prepared for you guys, because why would I be? Why would I be, right guys? Why would I be? Then we put this diffuser in there. And now I'm going to put together the tether because I'm a schmuck that didn't do that. So basically we have a 1 foot strip here, which might be too tall. I don't know yet. We're going to find out. Whoop. Let me see. I'm going to close this box a little bit more. I should have done one without the diffuser. We'll do one without the diffuser after I do one with the diffuser. We'll see the difference, okay? Fair enough? I think that's fair enough. Oh, I need a remote. Do I have a remote? Do I have a remote? Canon, Fuji. I had a remote, and now I don't know where it is. This is bad, guys. This is called me being live and not knowing where I put anything. Hold on a second. Would you think to use some gaff tape? You could use some gaff tape. I think it's just going to rip paper, and I don't really want to do that right now. Oh, here it is. Seth has proven this is not for outside shoots. It's just for fun. You know, this, if you are not having fun with this, you are not taking photos right. All right. This is pure lunacy for lunacy's sake. Let me just make sure. Okay. Let me get her into a position more like that. And let's see what we got. Am I tethered in? I am tethered. And we're going to shoot at, I don't know. We'll do F8, right? Why not? We know F8 because we always do the black frame in here, blah, 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 right? So let's take a look. Oh, is it on TTL? It's not on TTL. Let's put it on TTL. That's pretty clean light. That is pretty clean light, kids. Not bad. Not bad. Now you're saying to yourself, but Seth, I want to fill in that other side. Well, let's say I took another Brooklyn reflector and I pinched it down, right? Pinched it down, take a shot with the reflector on the other side of her. And look at that. She's filled in with a bunch of garbage and a speed light inside of a pizza box. They tried to replicate it, you know. Now let's take the tissue paper out of there. And let's see what this looks like with just a direct flash, because that can't be bad, right? So this is without the diffuser in there. This is just the raw light. So this is the raw light. This is with the diffuser in the pizza box. And this is with 2 pizza box bouncing it together. Not bad, huh? For kind of just a piece of junk, right? Right? If you notice though, the pizza box does shoot a little cool, right? So let's say I put that speed light back in there, right? And I put that diffuser back in there, right? Whoop. Come on. I put that diffuser back in there. But you know how I always shoot at 5000K? That's usually my thing. Well, what happens if I take it and I shoot it more at daylight, right? So let's see what happens when I shoot more daylight toned. Let me make sure I am daylight here. So 5600K instead of 5000K, right? Let's take a look. A little warmer, right? A little warmer, you know? So it does shoot a little on the cool side. I will admit that, but it's also a pizza box and you're gonna lay off me. Okay, guys? It's a Brooklyn reflector. Now, some of you might be asking, but Seth, how do I get myself a Brooklyn reflector? Also, look at that background. It kind of spreads out nice and even, huh? Well, if you didn't get it at the trade shows, when Dan Norton is doing a when Daniel Norton is doing a demo, I'm going to try to have a box of them on hand for the crowd. So come to a Daniel Norton demo. That's all I can say to you. They are not, what is happening to this monitor is freaking out, man. Hold on, guys. I got a technical issue over here. This monitor is freaking out on me. Because it's falling off, that's why. Because it is falling off. I think that'll do it. Okay. Sorry, guys. So that's pizza. That is the Brooklyn Reflector in softbox mode. Actually, can you see it better on this one? So, softbox mode. Pretty cool, right? Just a piece. It's real. You want to hear how crazy this is? You're gonna see how crazy it is. I didn't want to just use any tissue paper or grease paper, whatever. This is how crazy I am. I went to a bunch of delis in the area, and I always got a sandwich every other day, and I saved the deli paper. And I found, crazy enough, the bodega on this block of Adorama, right here, their paper was the cleanest looking light. So what I did was, I went over there and I bought a case of the paper to put inside the pizza boxes for you guys. That's how crazy this is. And I tried to explain to this woman what I'm doing with it. She's like, wait, what? And I'm like, I'm serious. It's crazy. And she's like, oh. She's like, that's kind of cool. And she just made it happen. So it was, that's how bananas this is, right? So this is, let me see if I can do this without it. This is the pizza box in softbox mode. Of course, what I would probably do, to be honest with you, is I'd probably pinch it. I would probably take the diffuser and pinch it in the part that you put inside the tab here so that you can build the box, but I don't want to waste a bunch of time doing that. You guys get the point. It's just for fun. It's just a dumb thing that I like doing, and it's not practical at all. It's sort of dumb, but it's ours. It's our dumb, right? It's our kind of dumb. Oh, you know what? This is coming. This tab came out over here. You got to kind of break in the box a little bit. And there goes the paper. Because why not? Let me see if I can get it to close this way a little better. Everybody with me? So it's kind of one of these things that's just like as human and as organic as it gets, from a joke with me and Daniel to the bodega down the block to you guys being into it. Like this just turned into some weird phenomenon that I can't explain, and I can't thank you guys enough for making this a thing, because it's awesome, right? It's been really cool to see it develop and how many people get behind it. And those of you people that ask me to sign pizza boxes, you're crazy. I don't understand what you're doing with those. But this is softbox mode for the Brooklyn Reflector, you know? Is anybody in this chat that got their Brooklyn Reflector? I know that we gave them out at the trade shows. I gave out a few hundred of these so far, so I'm hoping they're out there. I don't know. Yeah, there's 60 of you in the chat. Hopefully we can get this. I think I'd be better off. I think I'd be mentally okay with 100 people in the chat on a weekly basis, but we're getting there. 60, we're doing all right. This is much better phenomenon than watching the screen fall off your desk. Thanks. That sucked. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was $1,000 hitting the floor, and that was awful. And I want to thank everybody who donated to my channel to help me recoup that. That was unbelievable. Will we get all the cool effects of the paper as sandwich oil stains? So, funny enough, that takes away some of the diffusion, believe it or not, because it takes the transcending of the light and it pushes through more. As crazy as this sounds. So the initial plan, I was going to try to sell them. The problem is that to ship the box turned into being like 4 times the amount of the value of the box. And I haven't figured out how to figure that part out yet. So it's going to be an in-person thing only. Did Daniel improv his box with brown tape and a dental ready? Man, that beauty dish. If you guys could only understand or witness the magic of that beauty dish in person, I mean, forget about it. Oh my gosh. So that's the softbox version of this. Mix this with the Brooklyn softbox, which is a balloon in a bodega bag. You're good. You're good. You're good. But just remember, if you do have a pizza box, it's not about just holding up a board. It's about making that board rigid, right? This is how you make it rigid. That's what's cool about it to me, is that I have this much distance from my subject with a reflector that's staying rigid, that takes up no space, basically. In Argentina, we have a 1 kilogram ice cream pot that's absolutely helpful for this kind of dumb moment. It's almost a professional element. I'll tell you this, if you have like if it's a white interior drum of some kind, and you put a speed light in there and a piece of diffusion in front of it, you've got yourself a softbox. Don't forget, all this stuff they try to sell you now, all started out as somebody just DIYing it in their garage. Softboxes were literally just them putting diffusion in front of light and then trying to contain that light and then trying to make something that's consistent. And that's where we got our photo gear from, basically. I mean, look at Gary Fong. That guy put out basically a Chinese soup container on a strobe and said, yeah, now it's a diffuser you're all gonna buy. That's really what happened. Man, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Oh, everybody good? It's all good, Jeremy. I hope you're well. There's been a lot of ideas, Brad. I'm not going to go into all of it, but like, the reality is these boxes aren't doing anything for me sitting in a case piled up. Like, I want to get them out to you guys. I want you guys to show me what you're doing with them. Even if you're not using this box, show me what's up with whatever pizza box you're using in your area. I mean, whatever. It's just a cool thing that's ours. It's ours. Nobody else has this, you know? Well, yeah, any umbrella that you put a sock on is how usually umbrellas work. So what's funny is Dan the other day was using the pizza box and a Chinese food container as like bounce boards for a tabletop shoot upstairs. And I walk in on him and I'm like, it's funny, but it's also like, how good is that Chinese food container? It's like, it's really good. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's crazy, but if it works, right? What you don't want to do is rely on things like this when you're trying to stay consistent, when you're trying to be professional. You know, it's great in a pinch and it's cool. It's a party trick. It's definitely something fun when you're hanging out with people, but it's just that. It's just like a stupid fun thing. It's not for real, right? You know, the silver on the inside is pretty intense. Yeah. I mean, it's intense. I mean, this is crazy. In my opinion, the silver is a little too hard for my take, but I figured I'd rather it be completely hard light that you smudge up. So the more you touch it, the more it's going to break up the silver. So over time, from all your fingerprints, it'll actually dull down the silver to a point where it's not as hard hitting. And I also think that's kind of cool where you can like break these in. You know, you break, like, it's kind of cool, you know? You should create a hashtag for all of us using it. Brooklyn Reflector, hashtag Brooklyn Reflector, you know, let's do it. Tag Adorama, tag me in it. I want to see some stuff being used out there, you know? What's crazy to me is we gave out a few hundred of these over the trade shows the last few months, and I didn't see anything out there, people using them. Like, what are they doing with them? I watched them all over the airport. I watched people getting onto planes with them, you know? Right. So it makes you think a little different, right? It makes you think like, why is this working? Why is it doing what it's doing? You know, that's what's fun about it, right? So good question. Is silver preferred for reflection over gold? So gold is going to give you a gold reflection, right? It's going to give you that warm tone. So if you're trying to mimic some sunlight, if you're trying to mimic a service, if you're trying to warm up any type of fill light, you know, it's definitely not something we use often, I'll say that. Does the blue reflect, does the blue reflect much of the color on the white side? So I don't find that it reflects blue really, but I do find that the softbox mode itself is cold, but I don't find, no, I don't find, you're asking about this, right? I don't find that this reflects blue too much. So, oh, Akiva's in the chat. If you use Brooklyn Reflector, please tag Adorama on Instagram. So if you guys don't know, this is the guy that's running all of Adorama Social, a real human, not a bot, not AI. This is the guy, and he's at all these events usually. So he's telling you, tag Adorama, do hashtag Brooklyn Reflector. It'd be amazing to see what you guys are doing out there. If you're in New York, you can come by. I'm going to try to give them out at every time Daniel Norton is live. Maybe if I do an event, I don't know. But if you're in the event space and you ask me for one, if I got it around, you know, just come up to me, all right? Welcome, Johnny. Welcome. My first softbox was $3 plastic box. Cut a hole in the back, put some tin foil on the inside, and I just lost you. On the inside, and part of a plastic IKEA laundry bag as a diffuser. Yeah, how much fun is that, right? How much fun is that? You know, we get caught up in buying like crazy gear and calibrated this. And look, I am definitely one for highly calibrated tools. You guys know I shoot pro photo. You know, my GFX 102, you know, Z9s. I go for the tools because I have to shoot with it every day, right? But every now and then, you just gotta play in the mud, man. And if you understand what those pro tools are doing, or if you understand what those high level tools are doing, if you understand what those standard tools are, you'll understand what's happening here. And the more you make this work, the easier, more dialed in the pro gear gets. I mean, just understanding principles will take you everywhere, everywhere. You know, I mean, we're talking about a piece of cardboard here, guys, a piece of cardboard. We're talking about a piece of cardboard. Look at this, look at this. I always got shadows on underneath here. Look at that. Oh, so filled in. Or, oh, look at the, oh, right? So it's just for fun. You should, you know, beat it up, have fun with it. There's no point in any of this if you're not enjoying it. All right. So the DIY stuff, the problem I have though, is people that push DIY stuff as like the only thing you need. That is a farce, all right? So I would definitely look at what you're doing DIY, seeing what you're trying to recreate, what effect it's giving you, and then look for a proper tool that does the effect that you're looking for. So if you told me like, oh, I really like this softbox, then what you're really telling me is you're looking for like a 1x3 strip with a silver interior. That's what you're really saying to me. You know what I mean? Do you get a pizza with that? I wish. Okay. A wide angle reflector for a speed light. Well, for instance, there's, okay. So there's a difference between a wide angle, a reflector for a speed light and a lens for a speed light. You're gonna wanna look for a wide angle adapter because what you want, what you want is the light here to go wide angle. There's nothing that's gonna be a reflector that's going to make it wider. So for example, ProPhoto has a click-on that does spread the light wider. So whatever strobe you're using, look for a wide angle adapter for that strobe. All right, any last questions, guys? Last questions. Well, Michael, if you're in New York for the next, what I would say to you is make sure you check out the upcoming events on Adorama. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat. But coming up this week, guys, don't forget Michelle Harris is in full effect Wednesday. She's going to be my guest on Call for the Creators. Then she's doing 48 couple portraits in 8 minutes. You can't miss this one. It's going to be helpful for if you do events, you do weddings, engagements, anything that's high volume, that's going to be posing more than one person. It's a gold mine. And of course, Vanessa Joy is going to show you how to monetize your photography skills and make sure that you'll be able to make a living at this. If you're investing in, you might as well get some money out of it, right? Got Ryan Airy coming in and Chris Buck, 2 heavy hitter guests. I'm so psyched for this. If you haven't checked out Coffee with Creators, that's every Wednesday. I'm available at 11 a.m. on the main channel, Adorama TV. So check out that because you've got 52 episodes on there, you know, and we haven't repeated a guest yet, all right? And then we got Ab Cisse coming in June. So go ahead and check that out. Heidi, let us know how it goes with the dancers on the beach. Is that what it was? You know, foam core board and foil is still one of my favorites. So, you know, I used to be all about foil on my boards, but check this out. Let me see if I got one. This is chrome spray paint on a board. This is white. This is chrome. I have a video that you guys can actually watch on how to make that. The reason I'm telling you this is I find this to be even better than the foil. Why is that? Well, professional, like really good chrome spray paint, not silver, chrome spray paint, really good chrome spray paint. What that'll do is put micro metallic in there. It's almost like having micro mirrors all over the place. The Brooklyn Reflector 2.0. So this is the video where I go over, that. Make sure if you're in this chat, you go check that out. They go over how to spray boards, what to look for, things like that. I'll put this link in the chat if it lets me. So go check out that video on my channel because I used to be all about spray gluing foil down. But if you think about it, if I'm going to spray glue, I might as well just spray the silver. And this, kid, I'm telling you, is some of the best silver ever. I mean, look at that. It looks like brushed stainless. This is awesome. So, I'm using Montana spray paint on this. Chrome spray paint. I'm telling you, forget about it. Forget about it. All right? Whew, man. Sue, I'm glad you're taking anything away from this mess. I don't know what these streams are anymore, but I'm trying to do them every Monday. Obviously, next Monday is Memorial Day. This isn't going to be open. So, or is it open? I don't even know if it's open. Whatever it is, I'm not going to be here on Monday. I hope you guys are going to have a great weekend, but I'll be back the following Monday. I'm thinking the next time we go live, I'll shoot with the GFX. If you guys are into that, we can shoot some GFX 102, throw some lenses around, maybe the 81.7, maybe the 50. Maybe the 55, maybe the 110 f2. I don't know. We can play games, you know, but you know. So I think that's subjective. Does it last longer than the tin foil? I mean, I guess that's how you treat it, right? My thing with the tin foil though is, if you're gonna spray the glue, you might as well spray the silver. That's the way I'm looking at it, right? Also, I find that a lot of people have a hard time squeegeeing down the foil. If you're not used to doing that, it's tough for some people, which I totally get. Totally get. Watch that video, Warrior of Light, and you will see colored reflectors, okay? I feel like you're trying to throw things in this chat that are like advanced things, but they're just off a little bit. I shot with the 135 last time. You guys missed it. Come on, man. All right, so if you missed it, last week Daniel Norton was live for low-key portraits. My man went a little out of control. Go check that one out. It was a pretty good one. If you are looking for something to throw on in the background while you're editing, Coffee with Creators on Adorama TV is 50-something episodes, 50 different creative people giving you mindsets, insights, giving you an idea of what type of people are in this industry. It's awesome. I really want to get those numbers up as well. Even if you don't know who that person is, I guarantee you're gonna get something out of the episode. I promise. I'm liking the Plena. I just haven't thrown it into an actual job yet, but so far I'm into it. But I'm not a 135 kind of guy all the time. Like I keep it around 85, 105 a lot. Though I don't really go and stretch out the lens beyond too often when I'm going for a certain look of something. So I'm kind of trying to get my head around when I want to pull that lens out, and that's where my challenge is right now. I don't have enough of a feel of that lens yet to know what I'll get when I mount it. So I'm kind of going at it like, all right, let me keep using it till I when I look at my lenses, I can kind of visualize what every lens is going to give me. So I'm not like guessing at what lens. So when I pull out that 85, I'm pulling out that 85, you know? And the 24 to 120 that I use all the time, if I see that I'm settling in at a certain focal length, I'll probably switch to that focal length. If I'm constantly shooting at 50, I'll switch to 51.2, right? This doesn't go to 135. However, if I'm seeing that I'm pushing a 120 a lot, I'm kind of trying out the 135 casually, but it hasn't gone into a full-on job yet. Is there a particular creator you would love to get on Coffee with Creators? You know, I tried to get Mick Foley on. Guy wrote 2 books and is a legendary pro wrestler and knows a lot of things about a lot of stuff, and I would love to get him on here. But I think the goal of Coffee with Creators isn't dream guests. The goal is to get you guys as many perspective points from people that I and my team deem are credible to gather insights from. I'm not going to throw just anybody up there. I'll say that. And I will put up anybody that I do find credible if they have no following, if they're not known, if they're not some legend. By far, if I think someone should know about you, I'm going to try to get you on that show. You know, that's one of the reasons I'm getting Ryan Airy on this show, is because that guy came from a filmmaking background, but he started a YouTube channel, and that's not a photographer, but he did start a YouTube channel that got to almost 2 million subscribers so far. I think that's a cool story, and what it took to create as such with some sort of discipline to build a channel the way he did. So we'll talk about that with him coming up. Yeah, I met Mick once too. I actually ran into him at Roosevelt Field Mall, Long Island. It was very bizarre. He was just walking around like nobody was recognized. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it's Mick Foley. And I just said like, hey, thanks for everything you do for us. And he's like, oh, thanks. You know, like that soft voice he has. Really funny. All right, what am I at? All right, we are past the hour, guys. If you got last questions, I'll take them. But for now, I'm going to go get back on Doom Dark Ages. And then I got Monday Night Raw later. Clearly, I've got a full schedule. Quinn, I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know you're very busy all the time. Oh, guys, I forgot. If you missed it, Peter Hurley was live on this channel. And if you missed it, Charles Chesler was live on this channel. Headshots, small kits. I mean, Peter Hurley, everybody knows Peter Hurley. So go check him out. His videos on this channel, obviously. There is so much stuff on this channel that I feel like you guys are not watching. I'm watching the numbers grow slowly, but we can do better than that. Come on. Make sure you're going and checking out what was live for the last week. Go watch it. Drop some comments. Let people on the team know you're into it, you know. Let people know that you are part of this community, you know. Would love to hear, Roger's asking, would love to hear from a photographer specializing in theater. NYC should be crawling with them. Well, the reality is I got to tell you, there's not much you can do with shooting theater when it is shooting the production. What do I mean by this? Don't come at me so hard. Listen to me. If you have a production that's going on and you're shooting that production in the moment, it's very hard to make it look different than anything else, because you're literally shooting the performance on the stage in the one area. You're looking for certain moments. You're trying to get angles at most, but you're at the mercy of their lighting. You're at the mercy of whatever that they're doing. You're not curating their movements. It's not like shooting sports. It's a little, so there's not so much. What you can get into is maybe how they shoot the promotional material, things like that. So I'll keep that in mind, Roger. Maybe we'll poke around. We did, though. Who do we have? We had the New York Rangers photographer on here. Yeah, you're either shooting the performance itself or rehearsal, basically. Yeah. Thanks, Ronald. Appreciate you. Thanks, Kathy. Appreciate you. Ronald's asking, what do you hope to see in the next Nikon bodies that include red? Honestly, I think Nikon's got to, if they're going to do some kind of Nikon Z red thing that's not a red camera with a Z mount, I think you got to see something that's like a pocket camera or an FX3 kind of thing, small form factor that you want, the ports and the inputs that you want for cinema, the red interface, all that stuff, Z mount obviously, and see that going forward. But I think they definitely need like a camera that they're saying, no, like this isn't a hybrid. This is video. This is cinema. That's got a Nikon badge on it. You know, I go into that more. Maybe I'll get on Matt Irwin's channel. We'll talk about it. I got to tell you, the Doom soundtrack and the new Doom is kind of letting me down. No Mick Gordon I was ready for, but like I can't remember any of that music when I shut that game off, which isn't the same that has been for all the other Doom. When you played Doom Eternal, you felt that like thundering metal come on. You remembered that metal, right? This one, it's there. It's not really present for me. I don't remember it when I'm done. I don't know. Am I the only one that's sad about this? What's going on with Doom right now? Like I don't know. Although I will say Doom Dark Ages is fun. I will say personally, I think I like Eternal more. Personally. You're at the mercy of where you can go. Best to ask, show up on the dresser. Exactly. So if you're shooting theater, you're really limited. You're just trying to get moments, clean looking shots, not a lot of noise, stuff like that. David saying, Seth, making the chrome reflector, the proper use of C-stands and your shutter direct demo have been some of my favorites from you. Looking forward to many more. David, thank you so much. I'm glad it's doing something for somebody out there. When you throw a video out there, you don't know where it goes, who sees it, what impact it's had. You don't know. Sometimes you're like, what am I doing this for? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you're like, what am I doing this for? So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. The best thing you guys can do, honestly, is drop comments. It helps all the videos with engagement. Any type of comment helps engagement. Believe it or not, when people write hate comments, it helps the engagement of that video. Hitting like, sharing the video with people, massive help. Getting the community and the numbers up, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to glue our community together tighter. I'm trying to make sure you guys feel welcome here. Trying to make sure that you guys have a resource here. I'm not doing this for, the sake of doing it. I'm trying to keep you guys on a level where you feel like you can go shoot. You're happy with what you're producing. It's not getting frustrating for you. And if it is getting frustrating, you know that on the next Monday, you've got this chat room to drop into and we can figure it out together, right? To the best of our ability here. Hive-minded a little bit, or I can try to demo it for you. Mick Gordon's soundtrack does hit different. I mean, I miss it so much. And what happened with him is so sad, but he seems to be doing well. But the story of Doom and the music, it's heartbreaking. And I would argue that Doom 2016 reshaped nu metal hands down. Like, you can actually see pivoting in a music industry from that game. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it is awesome. Doom Eternal's menu screen music is one of my favorite. It's like dun 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 dun. Oh, it's so good. So good. So good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta go play Doom Eternal. I don't tell you. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it there. Do me a favor. Tag us if you're using Brooklyn Reflectors. It doesn't have to be the actual Brooklyn Reflector. If you guys are using pizza boxes, I want to see it. Tag Adorama, hashtag Brooklyn Reflector. Don't forget the events this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Michelle Harris and Vanessa Joy. I know you guys are Vanessa Joy fans. If you can't make it here in person at 42 West 18th Street, drop in the chat. That's what this channel's for. It's virtual. You will be here for it one way or another. We'd appreciate it. Don't forget, if you stop by the store, ask for a guy named Maury and just give him a hug. The guy needs a hug. I'm looking at him. He's so sad. Look at this guy. He's all right. Let's get this channel triple digits here, guys. I want to get at least a silver play button on this channel. I know we can do it. We got gold on the main channel. We can do silver here. I know it. I believe in us. I believe in this community that we built here. Jennifer saying she just started filming YouTube videos after the advice of Coffee Creators and Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones' episode was awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. William saying Vanessa Joy so wants to talk about business and loves to do so. Show up. That's right. Support each other. Arthur, what's going on, man? Yep, Arthur was here for Daniel Norton's demo and he got a Brooklyn Reflector. I don't know why he asked me to sign it, but it went down in value the second I signed it. Use it. Tag us. I want to see what you guys are doing with these reflectors, all right? So tag us in those, okay? No, I appreciate you. Catch you guys next time. Let me know what you're shooting out there. Tag us in whatever you're shooting. Let us know what you're up to. It's the only way we can find out what you guys are shooting, all right, guys? I think that's it. Check out my personal channel. If you guys want, follow me on IG over here. I use stories more than anything, but before I go live, I put a question sticker for you guys to fill out. Feel free to follow me there and fill out that sticker. Oh, what was I supposed to add? There was something with Daniel, I forgot. Go check out the blog, 42 West. Daniel Norton is now the editor of the Adorama blog. My man is curating that thing to be helpful for you guys. Go check out 42 West if you want something to read. Check out Coffee with Creators on the main channel if you want to put on something to put on the background while you're editing. I know how that is. And don't forget to stay on this channel this week, 5 p.m. Eastern time. There's demos Wednesday and Thursday. And I got Abscisse coming in, all the stuff. Guys, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know it's Monday. I know it's always a rough day for people, but we're in it together, right, guys? I will see you on the interwebs. Heidi, good luck on your shoot tonight. I want to see some shots. Tag us. I want to see it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Oh, you know what? Here. Boop, boop. There. There's the Adorama events, okay? Later, guys.